And we're live here for the pre-show. It's going to be like a great way to start this out for the 2024 Progressive Insurance King of the Hammers, presented by Nitto Tires, powered by Optima Batteries. I'm Miles Hasquist, alongside Cameron Steele and the mad scientist, Dave Cole.
Crazy man.
Crazy man.
Over the bars, Dave.
We really need to work on our nickname game.
No, I think it's good.
No.
Don't threaten me.
You don't like it?
Roll in that B-roll now, please.
No.
And this is our 18th annual. 18 years. We just turned legal age.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's a long time. I wasn't here for the first two. Cameron, you've been here for a long time.
I came
the second
What was
second
your
one.
Yeah.
first
Second
show?
one.
So,
I
yeah.
was invited as a commentator, and somehow or another, I became a racer.
Brad Lovell brought you.
Yeah, Brad Lovell was
I remember.
my
Clear as
driver.
day,
I
yeah.
was supposed to drive Roger's truck, and I ended up saying, wow, this is way too out of my league. And I navigated for Brad. We had some failures along the way, but I did prep their goggles for him. So I was a good teammate. And it all came around full circle because Brad and Roger ended up being a part of our Ford Bronco team.
That's still
when we
going
went
to
to
now.
Baja. They're still doing it today.
Yep.
Yeah, so good times. I was a commentator dork. And
Still are.
evidently I still am.
You race a lot and do well. You've been doing. I think the last time I saw you, had some successes in Baja too. So.
Yeah, we did okay. It was
Congrats.
pretty fun. But I love it. I got to tell you guys that I think the Hammers is the best racing that I get to do. I spent all day on the trails today. Well, I take it back. I spent all day doing 2 trails today. So it was a little bit of adventure, but that's the adventure the King of the Hammers throws at you.
That's how hard it is. Absolutely.
Well, you saw how hard it is by Dave's stunt work. That's the second time I mentioned it.
Yep.
And not
Okay.
the last.
That's definitely not the last. We'll be here for at least an hour, folks, and we'll be talking about Dave's stunt work consistently.
It's going to be a boring show.
But yeah, no, it's been fun. We're going to get this thing kicked off. So we're going to do brand new this year is the general store. It's going to be just on the other side of the stage of the main fire pit. That's the AccuAir Suspension general store. If you forgot your toothpaste, firewood, what do you think? Just like a gas station without the gas.
People at the Hammers brush their teeth? Sorry.
And a little bit of everything else,
I
right?
think I'm on someone's list already. I'm already in trouble.
You guys are on it.
And they'll be open 7:30 a.m. till 9 p.m. every day. They'll have a mechanical bull. They got a simulator.
Okay, so this is the bet that I have. I've been told we have a mechanical bull, but we're not actually turning it on, except for the inflation part and the lights parts and the moving sounds or whatever it's supposed to do. But we're not actually going to turn it on, and I do not believe that.
I call BS on
I
that,
don't
yeah.
believe that is the case. So
You riding it?
no, I'm not.
I was talking to Cameron.
Yes, he is.
I pulled out of Motos so my team wouldn't be pissed at me.
Well,
for
it's a single
riding
seat.
Motos, and this kind of is like a Moto, so I'm going to say no. We're going to leave this one to Justin Lyon, whoever from King of the Motos.
So you're saying there's a chance. Gotcha. All
No.
right. And then new again, well, not new again, but coming back is the Outpost. That's just past the Welcome Center. It was a pretty good hit last year, and we're just expanding on it. It's going to be awesome. Sonora will be there, Tiny Pony.
Yep.
We'll have Pacifico, and the Beast Unleashed is on board this year. How cool is that?
I'm very happy about both.
Me
Very happy
too.
about both.
I'll be honest.
It's pretty amazing. It's gonna be a fun year.
Yeah.
We're also putting a jumbotron at the Outpost.
Yep.
So, but we're gonna face it down towards Hammertown, so it can kind of be like a drive-in movie theater.
Yeah, and it can. I think we can
situation.
turn it too. So at night it can go to the crowd.
Whoa, I didn't know we could turn it.
Maybe. No, maybe I heard that.
You
somewhere
just
else.
grab it like a lazy Susan and turn it around, or no?
Or you hit a button on your app.
Okay.
O'Reilly's will be up there at the Outpost as well. So they'll have, I think, 2 runs every day. You can go up there, order your parts, grab a burger, a beer, and they'll bring you parts. And also, which is really cool, is O'Reilly's going to recycle oil and antifreeze. So if you're working on your junk, take it up to the Outpost and recycle it the right way. We're doing our part to keep everything going, and O'Reilly's stepping up in a big way there. I think that's cool.
That is very cool. It's good to have them involved, and it's good to be thinking about where to get rid of that stuff, because there's all those little stickers inside the outhouses that says do not put motor oil in the outhouse. That means don't do that, in case you're wondering.
VP Race Fuels will be up there at the Outpost as well. They got race gas and pump gas. So if
Did
you
I
want to
come in
drive
too
your
hot already today?
So if you want your UTV or your race car, you can go up there and get VP Race Fuel. Rough stuff will be on site. So Cameron, when you break your junk, if Cody can't take care of you, take it down to rough
I'll
stuff.
go back to the fact that I'll be filling up off the VP, not planning on breaking
okay,
my
yeah,
stuff.
but
We've
you
been
can look
breaking
at it,
our
yeah.
stuff consistently enough over the years. We're going to try to do it differently this time.
The Outpost is open 7 a.m. to 2 a.m., so all day and then into the night for some Pacificos.
Pacific.
What time do they stop serving Pacifico?
It says 2 on my sheet.
Can I tell you the funniest thought I just had was the aneurysm that Cody would have if Cameron walked back and said, I left the car at Rough Stuff. They said they could pick it up in the morning. If you did that.
I'd laugh.
They barely let me drive it out of Lasertown other than race day, so I don't think I'm going to be driving it over to Rough Stuff.
We still have the over.
It's very good that Rough Stuff's here doing the things. Dan's been doing that for like 15 years
Yeah,
now.
they were in town, but now they're at the outpost, so they have
that's
make a
rad.
little more
That's
noise
rad.
and all that. So
Rad.
it's
More
cool.
accessible too.
Yep. Once again, we have the Overland Experience. That's February 1st through the 3rd. They got a vendor showcase, and that is anybody can go check that out. It's included in your KOH ticket. So, and that's out at Camp Snoopy, on the way to Remote Pit 2. I think there's a laser at night you can follow to get to it. That's what I heard.
Can I say something, Miles?
More than one.
I remember when you first started and you were the interviewer guy and you were brand new. And
Still am.
Now Dave and I are sitting here and you're like doing all the play-by-play, giving all the sponsor drops, following along with an outline, and I'm very impressed. I didn't know that you'd make it past just you and your wrench in the pits.
I'm still going back to that, though.
I hope so. You're the best at it.
Miles is a badass.
He is good.
Every once in a while. UTV rentals. Can-Am's written out UTVs this year, so you can go to kingofthehammers.com, check that out. I think
I
that's
didn't
cool.
even know about that. I know long term we're going to have it year round.
Yeah.
Did you know that we're opening a general store at the 40?
I heard that. Yeah, that's going to be
like
hit.
year-round.
That's hopefully next year, obviously.
Who knows? Like the buildings, they're going to put it up.
For next Key to Hammers, sorry.
No, they're putting it up right now. Like in 3 days,
Oh.
they're going to put it up. It'll be
Rad.
up when everybody checks in. That'll already be there. But,
Perfect.
and that reminds me that if you want if you want like like more of a VIP camping experience, and we don't have access to a camping thing, you can check out Kevin's website. Was it the 40?
The 40jv.com. Yep.
Yep.
And 40
She's
is
got-
FORT. There's no U in it. I couldn't find it.
Okay.
And yeah, you can rent you can rent camp spots at his place as well.
Yes. Yep.
Um,
Yep. And he's got a full layout. He's making a really
That place
cool
is bad.
experience. Yeah. Check it out.
It's badass.
The signage and the entryways are
It is.
unbelievable. If that's any indication of what Kevin Reardon has going on at the 40, it's going to be badass.
And that's right at the welcome gate. So I mean, you're already there.
Can't miss it.
Yeah.
If you come into Hammertown, you're not going to miss it. I
Absolutely.
promise. Or if you're on your way to Hammertown.
Warren VIP's back. We got the Ultimate Experience and Trackside Experience. They're stepping it up once again this year. Lots of cool things going on there. They got dinner with drivers, catered food, backstage passes for concerts. You can win a ride in an Ultra 4 car, and a great seat out of the wind right at the start finish.
That's one of the first ways I can thank Brent for being on the team this year, because having Brent Gegerborough on the team has really changed our ability as far as like making a functional experience in town. So between the VIP and the general store and those things,
He's really stepped it up.
he's the man.
I was
The
reading
team,
through the
yeah.
Warren VIP list of items. There's 2 different categories that you can purchase. It's pretty mind-boggling, all the different things that are available to people to be able to just come in and buy that VIP pass and become embedded in King of the Hammers and be right there front and center, be a little bit more comfortable. I know some of us are really just dying to come out and stand in the wind.
Which is going to happen.
There's other people that would like to get away from the wind occasionally, and I'm pretty impressed. On top of just the product, we used it like 3 or 4 times today, the Warren Wedge, but the fact that they have this VIP experience is really cool.
Yeah, and it's $1,000 I think for the Ultimate.
There's
it's
2
it's
yeah,
pretty-
there's 2
there's 2
different
levels.
levels.
Yeah. And it's so go to kingofthehammers.com, check that out. But it's really cool. So we'll keep on moving. Another thing cool, Ferris wheel.
No.
Yeah, Ferris wheel. Progressives stepped
I missed
up
that
and
on
helped
my
with
list
It's in there.
of things.
Whose idea was that?
I don't know, but that's a good one. I like
It's
it.
wild.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm not scared of heights, but I don't like heights. But I'll try it out. Will you sit with me?
Well, I know that when you get, like, one of my favorite things to do is like go set the lights up, and when you're
Yep.
40 feet above all of the RVs and all the things, it's such a different perspective. So it's actually going to be a cool view.
Yeah, and speaking of the cool view, go to Chocolate Thunder at night and look back at Hammertown. That's one of my favorite things. You can see what 25,000 RVs looks like, and all the lights going. It's ant trails everywhere you look.
I'm not allowed to be out at night from Lasertown.
I'm not supposed to.
I'm not either. I'm supposed to be inside the whole time.
You are. Is this the life of a pro driver? Is this how this works?
The pro driver lockdown.
But you know it's dark right now, right?
I do.
Okay.
But I'm on free right now.
Oh,
Free
okay,
ranging
all right.
it.
The rookie program's back. We started that last year, and it's really revved up. Last year we had 83. We're up to 93 this year. It's been a really cool experience.
It's been a sophomore. It's been a tough year of us learning how to make that program kind of be sustainable, and I'm excited for us to be able to have the tent for them and go check them out. Like, we're the spot when you drop down onto the lake bed on the left-hand side there. Like the first little area right
close
there.
to where the firewood is, right?
Yes.
Up the hill a little bit.
In that area over there's going to be a big tent where the rookies are going to be able to group their resources together, be able to help each other out.
Yeah, the rookie corral. It's going to be a community tent. They can pit out of there. They can camp all around it, and it's cool. So you can learn with them. We have some of our pro drivers have came and had gave them a lot of coaching and whatnot, and now they're going to be there and checking it out for the first time. And Cameron, you've raced with us for a while, right? Just getting out to the pits, just getting to register, getting to Hammertown, getting to where's the fire pit. Now they're kind of giving a little packet on what's the what and where's the where, and
I think it's really it's fun to see that they're making it a little bit not easier, because I really think even though when you're driving into Hammertown it feels overwhelming, but everything's pretty straightforward on how to get around, where to go, look at the map. But I think that adding this item for the rookies and being able to explain it to them and bring it maybe to the point where they feel comfortable all the time, like they're more embedded into it by knowing it better, I think is something that's going to be a huge advantage for them.
This is the 18th annual King of the Hammers pre-show. Thanks again to Progressive Insurance, No Tires, and Optima Batteries. If you missed anything a little bit ago, we do apologize. We'll be on our official YouTube page this evening or in the morning. You didn't miss anything too important except for Pacifico Beer, the Beast Unleashed, and a couple other tidbits, and Cameron razzing me a little bit, but
there's more to come of that. You can count on that.
All right, I'm in.
I did give you a compliment though.
You did, thank you, buddy.
I won't do that again here.
All right, perfect.
Or maybe.
Yeah. All right, so we'll just keep rolling with it. You can catch it up later. Schedule of events. Gates open in 9 days, Dave. We got a lot to do. But yeah, so January 18th we open officially. King of the Motos is January 20th and 21st. That's Saturday, Sunday. Then we do the Toyo Tire Desert Challenge, January 26th through the 28th. Then we start with UTV qualifying the 29th, EMC qualifying 30th, Race of Kings on the 31st, and then the first race for the Rocks is the UTV race on February 1st, then EMC, then Race of Kings on that Saturday. So it's going to be, it's 2 weeks. That we take a little bit of break here and there, but it's gonna be busy.
It's jammed up. It's amazing when you really think about how many different offerings there are as a race car driver and a spectator. I mean, you get to qualify for every class, race every class, and there really is a lot going on you got to pay attention to, and you get to pre-run. Fans get to see so much different stuff. It's I love the way it's scheduled and set up, and everybody knows the end of each qualifying day is power hour, and there's going to be like all these hitters.
And we'll get into that here in a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
Sure.
Is it changing or staying the same?
Sorry. Yeah,
I'll stay over here.
We'll get in there.
I'll stay in my lane, okay?
Yeah. So how many races are you doing? You're doing everything but motos, right?
Yes, everything but motos as of right now. My team does not like it when I race motos first thing in the week after all the time and effort that's been spent.
I get that.
So
and you're not getting any younger.
Is that a dig?
No, it's honest, right?
Okay. I'm not getting any younger, that's for sure. not 25 anymore.
Yeah.
Or 35.
Yeah, or something else.
I'm never going to finish this if you guys
keep All right, let's keep rolling.
So yeah,
there's a couple updates. The fire extinguisher, the Element, that's canceled, if I remember right, correct? That's not legal.
Roll bolts, I'm sure.
And then what's this Rally Safe travel, the Rally Safe cable? Let's address that real quick.
Well, it's a little more than quick, but it's not that big of a deal. Yes, it's a lot of technical specs that we put out there, but it was for you to be prepared if you could be. If you can't make that cable, we'll have one waiting for you. Josh West is going to make like 100 of them, and we will give those, not charge, or there's like $20, and we will get that to you if the cable's a thing. Cable's not a thing. It's really easy to make.
And what's that cable do?
The cable,
a lot of data, right?
What it does is, it's moving. It gives us a more. So it all goes. Comes back into the live coverage of it. But right now, we currently see our current view of watching desert racing is a red dot every 2 minutes, right? And we want to make that more granular, more.
Not at King of the Hammers. There's lots of live footage, but yeah.
Okay, but you're still only. But you start at a red dot every 2 minutes.
Gotcha.
Some people get their car on the live show, right? But even that's not everybody. We try to make it as well-rounded as we can, but inevitably you're right. So if we can get more data off the car, then we can start giving that data back, and it changes the experience from kind of ingesting the race and seeing what's going on. If you can see those, like, with Rally Safe, we can change the regularity or the timing of the update. So say we get into the leaders in the last 5 miles, we can turn both of them up to like 5-second updates, 10-second updates.
So actual live tracking.
Yeah, basically live tracking. That's not the only reason to switch to Rally Safe, but for us, all of our content, everything going forward is going to be based off the beginning, just at a time level. So if we can track the data and the location, the performance of the car at a time level, then when we get video, we can match that to that same time, and that's when it becomes easier to catalog and edit and redistribute.
Yeah, I mean, that's really cool. I mean, the more of that data you can get, the better, because I think we can eventually get to like split times on a rock trail too, right? Is that something that's hopefully going to be a thing?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that'd be wild to know that, and leading is whoever, and they made it through Turkey Claw, or, let's do Jackhammer. They made it through in a minute. Well, third place made it through in 47 seconds. That's a 13-second gain. I mean, that kind of stuff would be really cool to know on the fly.
Check you out doing math live on the air. It's good.
What was it? Was it right?
She was on too. She was on too.
Well, I didn't have my gloves on. I mean, King of the Hammer's gonna be jammed up. We got live music quite a bit going on, so come on out, check that out. It's gonna be some good stuff.
Right on. What are we?
Let's go to. We're doing the kids race once again. We're gonna do the 170s.
Let me talk. Yeah, 170s and the youth stuff. So 170s. I believe, in fact, I know, and it's my fault because she hasn't put it up because I didn't send it to her today. But USAC has worked with an advisory panel and come up with a very small modifications to MAO's rules.
Okay.
So there's not a lot of change at all.
And so that's going to be stock limited mod then, if I'm.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not even really sure, but it's the three.
That's what I remember.
Yep. And Brian Bennett will be the race tech for that group of racing. So we will publish those rules by the end of tonight. We can get those up.
Yeah, and you worked with Chris May, Jody Ford, and Casey Gilbert, and USAC, and kind of got that all.
There was more than that. There was Kim
Wall
Sparrow.
Raven.
Yep, Matt Wallraven. There's old school U.S. Navy and his wife. Sorry, Gamble.
Yep, Kevin Gamble.
Kevin Gamble. So, anyways.
And then let's talk about the 4,900 1000 juniors, right?
Yes.
They're going to race with the 4,900 Can-Am race, but they're going to start, a half hour after everybody? And
right.
Only run lap 1, if I'm thinking right.
Absolutely correct. Yeah. And this is more of a see how this works. I don't think this has really been done before. I'm not sure how to really make the format work, but my intention was use any existing tech UTV and be between, was it 12 and 17?
Yeah, 12 and 17, plus it has to be a 2-seater, and you have to have an 18-year-old responsible adult, which I don't know if that's quite right, but and it's just the stopgap, because 170s, I mean, that's the future of our sport. That's cool, but then it's hard to jump from that straight to the pros, right?
Yep.
So having this little gap right here, I think it's been needed. And
when I saw it, I thought it was a really interesting idea to be able to have a parent out there with their kid, responsible party, someone watching and helping coach and do it. So I'm really interested to see how it goes. I have an 11-year-old, so someday that could be the future for her.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, so I mean that's kind of the grunt of everything.
Your daughter and Shrek will be rad.
It's gonna be fun.
So let's bring in Justin Lineweber. We'll talk a little bit about some King of the Motos, and we're gonna list. We got 7.
I'm gonna bite the bullet on something that's like ripping the Band-Aid off.
All right.
that I know everybody wants to know answers what they want to know. I don't have an answer in purse. I know there's going to be a purse. I don't know how much it's going to be.
You lowered entry fees.
We eliminated or try to eliminate entry fee down to just an operational cost. We do have sponsorship for some of for the money. We also have other ways to get it. But right now I'm still getting our current budget from BLM and everything else. I got to make sure we can do the things.
Yep.
If my basic, this is how I end up getting in trouble because it comes off all wrong. But if you're racing here because of the purse that you could win, we're probably not the race for you.
Yeah, I agree. That's not where we started. Started with a case of beer.
But we're going to pay, and it's going to be real money. I'm sure we'll be still more money than we should be and doing all the things, but I just don't have a real answer, and I don't want to say something small and cause a problem and say, we're only paying $25,000 to the winner of this class, and then and find out we can do 50 or 75 or 100 because we're still working there.
Yeah, I like it.
So
I suggest paying 100 to whatever class that I'm able to win.
well, then we don't have any purse at all then.
Oh, zinger! Set
Problem
myself up
solved.
for that, didn't I?
Budgeting.
That was easy.
That was easy.
Yeah.
Crush. He's gonna kill me.
So we have 716.
$1 million.
There we go. We have 716 registered racers right now as of a couple hours ago. So that's pretty rad, I think. And that's with King of the Motos. That's with the Desert. That's with the youth and all of our classes. So to have that many registered now, and we still have a couple weeks to go. I mean, we're going to be sniffing eight plus. I don't know. That's pretty impressive to have that many racers on the lake bed in that 2-week span. It's wild. And we're going to give each one of those name recognition. So Justin, I'm going to let you chop the King of the Motos. So give us a couple minute synopsis on that, and then read off your list.
All right, so this year, we're coming up. We're about a week and a half away. We've changed up a little bit of the format. We've got instead of the prologue for Saturday morning, we're just going to go all in on the hard enduro. We're going to do 2 hard loops. We've got a really cool
Because the
remote
prologue
start.
wasn't very hard.
No, it wasn't too bad.
Okay.
So we got 2 hard laps on Saturday. All the racers just have to make it to checkpoint 1 to qualify for Sunday. But you definitely want to keep going. You want to keep pushing because that's going to set your starting lineup for Sunday. Sunday start and finish is going to be over at Chocolate Thunder. We've got a 3-loop format. I'm hoping, to make those top pro guys just break a bead of sweat a little bit.
They got to earn it.
Yeah, on that 3rd loop. So, and if it is too hard, I did get a suggestion for a trail from someone else, so I can always,
Throw it in there.
blame it on someone else. No, I'm kidding. I do want to drop just a couple of the trail names that we're running because everybody comes out here and trains the next couple of weeks. I'm not giving you the whole course, but Chocolate Thunder, Wrecking Ball, Sledge, Jack North, Full of Hate,
Such a
Solid
mean
Axle
sounding
only.
trail.
NSA.
NSA.
No solid axles.
No solid axles. I keep messing that one up. Yeah, and then, Bender Alley, Dead Blow, Bloody Mary, Whiskey on the Rocks is right next to Bloody Mary, a new trail that we came up with. So Saturday is going to be a lot of stuff that you have seen before.
Blood on the rocks.
Sunday is going to be about 70% new trail on the first lap and then overlapping for the second. Then 3rd lap is 10 miles of pretty gnarly rock trails.
Can you say where it starts at? You can't, can you?
Yeah, I can say. Saturday, I'm going to start. We've used the start hill before, and anybody that came out to the moto weekend we had a couple weeks ago got to practice run it. It's next to Turkey Claw. Just
Land rush start?
Yep.
Yeah.
Rows about 30. We're going to start them in their classes.
That's wild.
Yeah. So it's going to be on corrected time. So you're going to get to see the start, watch the carnage, let it clear, see the start every row for Saturday. Like I said, that's just east of Turkey Claw. And then we're going to finish in Hammertown. And then Sunday, we're going to start and finish going up Chocolate Thunder. So
Good. Sounds like a good time. It's always fun
it's
to
gonna
watch.
be
And that's opening weekend.
Yeah, as a moto rider and someone who's ridden, I can't say I raced King of the Motos because it's not very successful. Maybe the first time I did it. I wanted to say to everybody watching, it's an incredible event, and Justin underplays it a little bit as the race director and the course designer, but King of the Hammers has really gotten behind the motos and given them a great place to race. Hard enduro in the United States doesn't happen everywhere, especially on the West Coast. So if you're a hard enduro rider or someone who's a fan of it, it's an amazing spectacle to be able to watch. And some of the places where the motos are riding, like Chocolate Thunder, it's incredible to watch the land rush start. I mean, I rode it, and it's tough, but it's an incredible place to watch the race.
Yeah.
And I think that I think because it's a little bit understated, I will go out and say it's one of the best motorcycle events I've been to in the world, that I've been a part of or watched or commentated for. And I think that it deserves a lot of respect. And I'd like that. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there that it is well worth the effort to come see and ride, if you're up for it.
Yeah, and this year news, Liquid Molly jumped on board for you guys.
yeah, I have to give a shout out to Cameron. That's a pretty big honor that I'm filling the shoes of Jimmy Lewis, who started this event, and we're keeping it going, and that's really big.
Your passion plays
So,
out, buddy. You can
thank you.
see it in the effort and the trails and everything you put forward. And I think that it's a mind-boggling event. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot more to it than people think.
And spectating is awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't get to watch a lot of the racing because we're busy doing it, but I kind of step back for that one, and I go and watch the land race start.
The land rush starts on the motos is pretty
gnarly.
unbelievable. Watching the pros tackle it from the first line, and then like squirrels like me back in the third line or whatever, going for it and making it. It's a good show. It really is. And the good news is we're not like going crazy fast. I mean, it is still dangerous, don't get me wrong, but it is a very technical, fun race to do and be around.
Yeah, Jimmy told me something this year for the moto weekend. He said, I always wanted to put on the race that I wanted to race. And this is the year that is closest to that. The only thing that bums me out about motos is I don't get to be out there and race it. But
you should race it. You should still do it.
Okay, maybe I should say
as long as you're racing in the pro class with those guys.
By the time I've ridden it, like the fourth time and weekend's almost here, I'm a little less like enthused to go race it for another time.
It's been there, done that.
Super gnarly, but what a great event. Super gnarly, but it's fun. Well done, Justin.
Thank you.
All right, let's hear who's actually racing.
Alrighty. So for the 2024 Liquid Moly King of the Motos, it's the kickoff round again this year. It's the premier round of the U.S. Hard Enduro. This goes east to west coast. We'll go down some riders. So first class we've got is the Youth Lights. These guys are 12 to 15 years old. We've got Connor Wright, Cole Clarkson, and Nolan Albrecht. Then I'll go into our pro women. We got Louise Forsley and Addie Albrecht. There might be some sibling rivalry going on there.
I like that.
Pro class, we got Robert Cornwell, Ryder LeBlanc, Gage Key, Justin Remley, Hayden Mosa, Will Riordan, Tristan Hart, Colton Haker, Cody Webb, Devin Finaro, James Flynn, Quinn Wenzel, Tom Brodricks, Cooper Abbott, David Camo, Jose Luis Simon, Zachary Eaton, and Dylan Santoro. Quick note on the pro classes there, we've got KTM represented, Husqvarna, Gas.
Is Cooper Abbott related to Destry?
Yes.
Destry, yeah.
Yeah, there's some pretty good names in there.
Yeah, it's going to be a stacked
If you're wondering if
class.
it's a badass race, just look at the names that are on there. I mean, having Tristan and Cody and Colton and all those riders is amazing to be able to watch them right here in the Southern California deserts.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see Tristan race last year. I've watched Cody and Colton.
I got to see him lap me.
It was hard for the cameras to keep up with Tristan.
Cody and Colton have been doing it for quite a minute.
Yeah.
It's still, to me, unbelievable, the amount of talent and the just what they do on a bike is mind-blowing.
That's pretty
and they
cool.
make it look easy too, and it's not. Is it?
Yeah, when you hear that they made up
Definitely
dead blow in like 15 to 20 minutes and it took me 3 hours, yeah, it was a little disheartening.
It's crushing.
It's
You get laughed at
yeah.
going into checkpoint 1 on the first loop, and they're coming around second loop, already going past you. Like, I'm gonna tap out right here. It's good.
All right, moving up to the C class, we got Harold Harris, Jacob Goldstein, Charlie Ross, Eugene Shelipov, and Philip Daly. We got B 40 plus class. These guys are all over 40. Philip Daly, Justin Nunn, and Billy Robertson. B class, we got Cole Casserly, Jacob Stone, Matthew Hugh, Bruce Lockerman, Pierce Day, Keith McBean, Christian Shaw, Zachary Rusak, Kyle Whitcomb, Michael Udell, Max Gerkiewicz, Tegan Warnick, Zachary Griswold, Henry Hogerman, Sergey Nurses, Garrett Martinez, Brandon Binford, Maxwell Higgin. For the amateur women, we have Reagan Stone. All right, let's go in our A50 plus.
Why'd you look at me?
I don't know if anybody here is under 50, but you know.
I was gonna say everybody at this
Raise
table
your
except for you
hand.
and I.
Raise your hand, old man. All 5 of those fingers.
George
So
Oliveira,
who's this group up here?
Alden Anderson, Dan Hayakawa, Taylor DeProw, Gary Combs, Jeff Rocket, Joseph Zabala, Ermin Aragon. All right, now 40 plus, Matt Adams, Steve Schumann, Rodrigo Lopez, Edward Obert, Joshua Rempel, Juan Rojas, Matthew Gard, and James Hall. Now, the vet class, as they call it this year, the A30 plus that I happen to be in for some reason.
That's funny that they call the vets 30 plus. Just saying.
I know.
I'm just saying.
We weren't happy about it
Damn
either.
whippersnappers.
Brandon Wakefield, Travis Anon, Brock Lindsay, Tyler Porras, Landon Eborn, and Gregory Steele. And we got the A class: Ethan Hutchinson, Eli Hammonds, Ryan Boardman, Brandon Bird, Seth Steiner, Brandon Lowe, Ian Gard, Braxton Hintz, Wes Ritchie, Chris DeSonos, Joe Bridges, Kevin Driver, and Tyler Gard, and Devin Stevenson. That so far is your Liqui Moly King of the Motos racers.
That's
I know
pretty good.
I know
84 total.
There's potentially people at home that are, I don't even know, I don't keep up with the comments usually, but anybody that's, might be bummed at the reading the names, this is one of our traditions.
I love it.
I like that
It's
I like
a
that we
lot,
read
but
it.
it's
I like
cool.
that we read every name.
Absolutely. I love it.
So
All right. Well, then
Let's
that's
go.
going to
Red.
move us into the desert class, right?
Let's do that.
So you guys
Justin,
chose me.
appreciate everything.
Justin, good
Look at
job.
Molly.
Thanks for having
who's
us.
gonna win?
We'll see you in
Who's
a
gonna
week
win?
and a half. Huh?
Who's gonna win?
Who's gonna win?
They're gonna ask me that
Dang.
later.
Okay. I'll give your top 3 in no particular order.
That's okay. Wah,
Except
wah,
fastest to
wah.
Except for 1, 2, 3.
Cameron Steele,
Oh boy.
He's not
Dave
racing.
Cole.
You trying to keep yourself out of trouble?
Yeah. It's going
Weak
to be a good
sauce.
show this year between your top factory guys.
Yeah.
Cody is not by any means out of the game. He is coming back. Not coming back. He's still here. He's still relevant. And he's going to give Tristan a run for his money. But then we have, Cooper Abbott coming up in it. You've got Ryder LeBlanc. And, of course, Tristan Hart. He was untouchable last year. He won the series in America. And, he's on another level. So these guys have their work cut out for them.
One more question.
Yeah.
How long it's been? It's been about 7-8 years for bikes, right?
I raced in 2012 or 2013, excuse me. 2012 was the first year.
10.
10, 13, 12, 11, I don't know.
Yeah, about 10.
How much has technology changed since then to now on the machines that you're riding?
We've seen fuel injection come back in a 2-stroke hard enduro bike. Suspension has made great leaps. The bikes, you can go to a factory now and buy a enduro model or a hard enduro bike set up ready to come race like a King of the Motos or a US hard enduro race.
And you could race a trials bike too, right?
You could. Yeah, we put them in like an open championship class. That way, when I'm getting passed by a trials bike on the first lap, we don't feel so bad.
I've been out there and had that happen to me.
I have
In the
too.
desert?
Yeah. Oh, not. You're a funny guy, Miles.
So one quick note that I gotta say, we're seeing a generation now, thanks to Jimmy Lewis and Dave Cole and hard enduro in general. We've seeing a generation come up right now of kids that watched this as 4 or 5 years old and started training that day. So the skill level from now and on is just going to keep getting better, and the courses are going to have to be getting more technical or longer. We're just, we're going to have to keep growing and expanding, but it's really exciting to see 16, 17-year-olds now that have been training for King of the Motos or hard enduro their entire life. It's very cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Another good reason
thank you
we
for
don't
carrying the
survive.
torch, man.
Yeah, thank you for
One of my favorite parts about this entire gig is the fact that we're out here as neighbors and we get to go wheeling and hang out or do whatever. And that's your passion for this is unbelievable. Thank you.
Thanks for having me up here, and thanks for having us part of it. See you in a week.
Nice work, Justin.
Or tomorrow.
When does the course get revealed?
I revealed a lot of it, but
Yeah.
yeah, Friday at noon. We'll give everybody the GPS tracks.
Okay.
All right.
There you go.
Thanks, Justin, with King of the Motos. So, Cameron.
So gnarly.
Yeah.
King of the Motos is no joke. What's
Is it-
even gnarlier is that you're going to have me read 127 names, and I'll try not to butcher them, but that's our current entry list for the desert race weekend, which is 26, 27, 28. The course gets revealed by GPS on, I believe, is it the 25th? If I'm not mistaken, the Thursday going into it. Is that still the fact, or is that not the fact?
Yeah, the GP, the
25th,
navigation
I
course.
think.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about course features,
Okay.
and I'll
So
probably
you'll
show
have
some
it.
map.
You'll have it here in a minute.
All right, so the course is coming up a little bit later, in case you're wondering. But right now, let's talk about a couple of the classes, talk about the deserts. a Toyo Desert Challenge, of course, class 1400. Cordell Weaver, Vincent Munoz, Justin Miller, Zach Connor, Mike Abbott, Chris Eisenhower of the Eisenhower brothers. Then in the 1450s, Thomas Mortensen, Anthony West, Michael Scafuto, who's a new trophy truck driver as well. He'll be around for that. And Brent Downing. That is our 14 and 1450. Then we're going to get to everybody's favorite, the Class 11 race. When does that happen this time around?
It's in the afternoon.
Saturday.
Saturday. It'll be a land rush start off the lake bed again. Shorter course, more like a 8-10 mile course, and we'll do multiple laps.
Oh, cool! I didn't know that.
And they won't get they won't have to worry about the going up the BJ Baldwin jump backwards.
Okay. And your Class 11 drivers so far, it's still open for entries, correct?
Yes.
Rob Schlegel, Cole Wimmer, Chris May, Rosalie Pendergrast, Stephen Fredericks, Cameron Reese, Will Harris, Casey Peoples, Cameron Brantz, Jack Colley, Oliver Flamant,
Yeah.
Blake Wilkie, of course, Dustin Grabowski, Caden Wells, and Todd Remerind. And then that's going to bring us to our B4 competitors. A quick explanation of B4 is limited, like a 16
limited class,
CC?
limited suspension buggy, yes. So
Bob Stewart,
a 9 1600, that kind of thing.
Laramie Bailey,
12.
Maximilian Max Yee, and Alex Welch. Should be exciting. And that's going to bring us over here. Am I bleeding? Oh,
Yeah,
that's just because I'm bleeding.
That's why you're wearing gloves. You were wearing gloves to start the show, and now you're bleeding. You might be injury prone, sir.
Should I put my gloves back on? I was wearing my gloves because it was cold. Now people are worried about me bleeding on the air. All right, the B3 competitors. Is this the
UTV.
UTVs?
And there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, 66. And speaking of 66, we all remember Kurt Caselli. That was his number. He spent a lot of time in these deserts, and just a lot of love to him. B3 competitors: Brent Lambeth, Vito Ranuo, Jeff Ratliff, Carlos. Jeff Ratliff is a medic on our Rip the Cobble rides, by the way. Carlos Leha, Michael Lee, Chris Rendil, David Knight, Patrick Murray, Zach Quinos, Mark Martinez, Colt Bruckenhoff, Ashley Clow, Andrew Garvey, Justin Von Mettel, Jake Versey, Stephen Radke, Sarah Price.
Which is in Dakar right now, right?
Exactly. I was
That's
just
cool.
talking to her lead tech, Mitchell Alsop. They're having a good time over there. Keaton Kuntz, Phil Blurton. I know that guy. Austin Whelan, Cowboy Cerrone is here. William Eisenberg, Vanessa Torello, Jeff S. Martin, Bailey Brandt, Jared Brandt, Patrick Tabor, Rick Henson, Tim Fitzpatrick, Tobias Gavin, Dustin Jones, who's one of the favorites, of course, Garrison Calloway, Caden Wells, Christian Serapis, Michael Scafuto, Bo Biggs, Cameron Steele, Super Dork, Harrison Weiss, Matt Burrows, Ethan Groom, Joshua Sandoro, Ken Kegel, Chase Carr, Mikey Kelly, Doug Mittag, one of the favorites, Cole Brandt, Michael Mack, Joe Tierra, Jim Avigio.
I'll mess one up too, don't worry.
Thank you. Ian Kennedy, David Placentia, Michael Mamil, Kristen Matlock, Wayne Matlock, some legends, of course, of UTVing, Jackson Plummer, Ben Collier, Kyle Cheney, who has won a couple times, Kyle Kenai, Michael Carpenter, Chaden Zan Minder, Tyler Krebs, Mike Pratt, Oscar Amos, and Aspen Chornos. Those are your B3 competitors. Say it again.
Chornos.
If you don't let anybody know that I said it wrong, they will never know. Unless
Except for
they're
him.
that person.
Except for him.
That's right.
And I know him and his dad, and yeah, so
I try my best.
We'll keep trying.
Put a
I
good
believe
effort.
that completely in it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from San Clemente, so reading's not easy for me.
You do it wonderfully, though.
Thank you. Moving on to the B2s, let's talk about who those are. Are those the Class 10s?
B2s would be
buggy
limited motor, unlimited suspension. So this is Class 10s, yes.
More or less.
Yes.
B2, Tom Coons, Todd Jackson, Dale Eberts, legends coming around, Bill Zemak, Bruce Yee, another member of the Yee family, Zach McLaren, Rob Arciero, Ethan Jackson, and Tim Craig, your B2 competitors.
Okay.
How am I doing so
Rolling
far?
through, you're doing great.
I'm doing all right?
Doing fantastic.
I get paid by the word, by the way, by the entry.
That's a sin.
Just give me those papers over
Hey,
there.
can I just- B1, unlimited buggies? Is that what I'm understanding?
B1 would be unlimited buggies,
Class
yes.
Kelly Smith, Tom Coons, Kenneth Goodall.
Goodall.
Goodall?
Yep.
Oh, they added a K to the end of it on my list right here.
Yeah, it happens.
Nick May and Dave Mason Jr.
I believe that the B1 numbers and the B3 numbers might go up because I've got an idea that I've literally talked to nobody about in any way
Let's
about
talk
this.
to millions of people about it right now, Dave.
I think it would be cool to do qualifying for the rock race based upon your results in the desert race and start the right-hand lines of the odd numbers based upon your rock qualifying, and the outside row would be started by the desert race, so you could choose either or both mediums as your opportunity to get to the front of the pack.
Well, what class is that?
B1 would be 4,400 and B3 would be UTV. And so if you wanted to race in the UTV class and you finished third, theoretically you'd start outside row 3 in this weird new logic.
And whoever qualified third would
And
start
you don't even have to
the
show up
side
to
of you.
qualifying on Tuesday or Monday for rock qualifying.
I'm all in for
Unless
that.
you wanted to get that top spot.
And then
you wanna get top spot.
that gives us the added fun of having the fast desert guys against the fast rock guys going off the line together. I've thought about, so when there's this outrage, it's probably happening right now at home and everybody's freaking out. I've thought about, if you handicap like the first 3 rows or just rock qualifying for the rock races, then that gives a person a chance to get up in the top 3 rows, and then the outside row 4 would be the first finisher from desert racing.
I am in complete agreement with the fact that you're trying to develop an algorithm to make this work, because I always thought that what you should do is you should give your series champion or your winner from last year a spot, call it the 5th position to start automatically, and they don't have to qualify, they don't have to do anything. They won last year.
If they outperform their righteous spot, they can. But if things go south,
but I think they have to pick
they start
it before.
40th.
Got to pick before.
You're saying either or.
You gotta-
Either qualify or don't.
Or don't, right? And so Raul Gomez would be no worse than 5th in that particular algorithm.
But if
I
he
always thought
qualifies, he starts where he qualified.
You should take. I had this fantasy once upon a time about the Fast 40 qualifying, and some of the spots were preceded from the year before, points champions, race winners, stuff like that. But anyway, we digress. I'm not very smart. I'm sure somewhere inside Dave's mind, bouncing around in there, is the final idea of how that could possibly come together. T4, that's a truck. It's a smaller truck, if I'm not mistaken. No answer over there? Anybody? T4?
T4.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
T4 is
like a
stock. Yes, stock.
Like a Bronco.
The Broncos
Jeep.
Class 11 is also T4.
Okay.
It's a full-bodied stock vehicle.
I was texting, sorry.
Rob Tigert, Mike Bosley, Kendall Gins, Wyatt Albrighton, Alex Fleming, Mike Lopez, Jim Horn, and Bruce Hayden Raub.
And Bailey Cole, I think, told me he was going to sign up for that.
Bailey Cole, I've heard of him before. He used to be my racing partner in the EMC race, but he quit me. It's just how it goes.
Probably.
In your T3s, Jason Hutter, so far the only entry, but hopefully more.
Hey, he
will
might
show.
win that one.
It's a possibility. Does he have to finish to win?
Yes.
Okay. That's Class 7? T3?
T3 would be.
He's got a Class 7 truck from Colorado. Now I am bringing my 7 truck.
There
All right,
you
it's
go.
on. It's on, Jason Hutter. Just saying. T2.
Spec trophy
Specs.
trucks.
Spec trucks. So these
So
are
I can't. Spec
truck.
trucks, yes.
spec trucks, sorry. Spec trucks.
I got you.
Trucks that
Sorry,
are
Roger.
unlimited with 40-inch tires but have a 535 horsepower
It's
engine.
a driver's class. Like that's a fun one.
Oh,
It's it's rad.
it is rad. These guys are rad. Almost everybody but one person on this list is rad. This person,
That person's not
not
as
rad.
No.
You're doing a
He's
spec
between
class?
he's between Dustin Grabowski and Terry Householder, which are good people though. So why don't you read that list?
Okay, I'll do that. Here's your T2 competitors. Shane Dahlquist, Cade Garcia, Chris Hicks. Cowboy is racing. Cerrone.
Nice again.
Gatlin Haddon, Nick Eisenhower, Justin Davis, Charles Dorrance, Jason Coleman, Trevor Harvey, Connor Pyle, Thor Herbst,
Nice.
Dustin Grabowski, Cameron Steele, Super Turkey, Terry Householder, Trey Gibbs, and Justin Bean Smith, one of my neighbors growing up.
So you're not racing your unlimited truck?
So for those of you that weren't following, there's a race in Baja, and we melted down our second big block engine of the year.
Ouch.
And it's a paperweight.
Yeah, all right.
Nothing is salvageable. So I chose to make sure that
the entire truck. If you give me the truck, I'll pull the motor out and I'll see if there's anything salvageable.
No, I'm talking about the motor itself.
Oh,
We
the
destroyed
motor.
Engine.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's a lot of wondering minds as to how that happens at race mile 214. But the bottom line is we did not change the algorithm in the Motec allegedly for switching from a small block to a big block. We ran it all year long at 25 degrees hotter than it said.
Whoops.
Yeah, so we nailed the case.
Not we. You were driving, right?
It was my fault. It's all my fault. Anyway, that's a disaster that we don't want to talk about because that costs a hell of a lot of money. Can you pay me double, Dave? 0 plus 0 is 0?
It's the multiplier that gets you, man.
Yeah.
I'll pay you like $10,000 an hour.
Yes.
And I'll pay you for
30
100 hours
seconds.
of work.
Oh.
But then there's a discount of, 100%.
Okay.
So
I gladly work for you for free. T1.
Unlimited.
Those are the unlimited trucks. Unlimited. That means they can go fast. How long is the course, Dave, for the desert race, just out of curiosity?
93 miles on the big loop. It's
Oh,
a little not.
loop,
There's
little
a
loop, big
couple
loops?
spots that aren't.
I
gonna
had
be,
no idea what's going on yet, so I'm just asking.
There's a couple of spots where the that were traditionally like super fast, that aren't as fast this year. They're wet now, and I think it might get a little more wet between now and then. So I'm preparing. So I'm not putting us in some of the lake beds that would have been like you're having to let the motor breathe kind of thing because you're sitting on the rev limiter the whole time.
Yeah.
But the places that we found to go around were pretty cool. Not really just
I like that.
useless rough
Let's
stuff.
go around and have some fun.
It's fun.
Heck yeah.
My least favorite part of racing unlimited trucks, T1s, is going 150 miles an hour. I'm not a huge fan of that.
Yeah, no,
Just
I
saying.
get that.
Here's your competitors in T1. Larry Trim, Michael Scafuto, Blake Wilkie, Ethan Ebert, Brent Venstra, Vincent Munoz, Michael Mamelli, and then last year, I believe the runner-up, Tim Herbst from Terrible Herbst Motorsports, and your winner last year, Adam Householder in the number 24 returns.
Yeah.
So cool.
That's
See
a good
them back.
list.
Yeah, it's a good list of drivers. And that is,
That's 127 competitors in the desert.
I believe
That's right. And it's going to jump.
and it's going to grow more because
Oh, yeah.
my 7 truck's not entered in there. That's coming for sure.
Is it prepped?
It's prepped.
All right.
Brand new prep, fresh prep. It just won the record race in Baja. Renee Brugger, our lead
If you're
tech,
racing
is
the
driving it.
spec truck, do you need a driver for the 7 truck?
Mitchell Alsop and Renee Brugger are going to drive it. Believe it or not. Not you, Miles.
No. I was talking with Dave. Me and
You-
Dave could take it out.
You guys can take it.
I'm thinking about racing the RS1.
Oh. Who's your co-driver?
But if Mitchell can't drive it, you never know. Maybe you.
Oh.
Maybe
Oh,
Phil Blurt.
Okay. Oh, all right.
All kinds of buddies that could go.
Perfect.
But Miles, you're always welcome to join.
Don't forget you said that. You
I
heard
will.
that.
Thanks for letting me read all those entries.
Hey, no,
And
thank
thanks-
you.
Thank you to all those entries for coming out and racing. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, so let's keep it rolling. Okay.
Yeah, we'll show the course because the desert loop for the most part covers some of.
Yeah, that's
so we'll
lap
explain,
one
we'll
for
explain
most
that
of it,
when we pull
right?
the maps up and we can
Yeah.
do that. I mean, let's just keep moving forward.
Yeah,
with
let's
that.
keep rolling. I do got a question. Chocolate Thunder, there's a rumor it's going to be closed at night.
Not true.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
No, I mean, I would love to speak to that whole concept right now.
Boom, go.
All right.
We didn't cancel the shootout because of anything other than it was just getting boring and it was lame and we need to reinvent it or come up with a better way to do things or just let people go recreate on the same land. So I can tell you that I think the coolest thing about King of the Hammers is that you get to go out and play. You get to go enjoy the land when we're not racing. And that has been something that we've had to fight pretty hard to get to be able to keep doing.
There's a lot of people.
And I'm not going to stop for that fight, and I'm not going to close Chocolate Thunder, and I'm not going to close Backdoor. However, so I'm leaving it straight up, I'm never going to close them down and still have the event.
I like your style.
But if we don't stay accountable and responsible for ourselves, manage our own shenanigans and have fun and go home and not just be complete idiots, then
Agreed.
when they say if a day happens or if the results are things that we don't want to happen, and that's never been talked about, but if it ever gets to that bridge, I'd rather not do the event. So let's just be accountable.
Yeah, be cool to your fellow buddies.
Yes.
Be cool to yourself.
Yeah.
Make good decisions.
Make good decisions.
Stay in Lasertown after dark.
That is my own decision. That's not a Cody Wagner's. That's me.
That's good.
I just hang out right there.
It's our event.
Sometimes I drive from Lasertown to Hammertown.
That's all I got. So no, Chocolate Thunder is definitely going to be open.
Perfect. Yeah, just a little question we had.
Yep.
Let's go into that future 1000 junior class. We got 5 of those: Taryn McCullough, Aiden Gilbert, Nathan Millay, Peyton Dunford, and Sailor Healy. Lauren Healy's going to be co-driving for that one.
Oh, awesome.
You heard Aiden Gilbert, Casey Gilbert will be co-driving there. I mean, it's the family bond. I mean, that's where it started. Ultra 4, King of the Hammers, it's a family thing, and having your daughter or your son in there with the car with you, I think it's rad. So good on you guys for doing it. And like I said, the 170 had a stopgap, and we're working on it. So that 1000 junior class, I personally think is cool. So thanks to everybody that helped put this together, and Dave for giving it the blessing. And here we go.
I think it's going to be cool.
170s. We have Hunter Biddle, Jameson Mandel, Philip Pinheiro, Brian Fulcher, Tristan Fulcher, Nora Pendergast, Claire Dixon, Caden Gamble, Bentley Dixon, Evan Kelly, Xander Walraven, and Domenico Allegri. So that's pretty rad. We got 12 of those in the 170 class. That'll be mainly the short course. Goodby's going to be building that. He starts here in a couple days, I think, right? Yeah, that's going to be a fun one to watch. The kids, that's the future of the sport. There's 2 classes there. They're coming.
Yep.
So we'll move into the 4900, the Can-Am Hammers Championship. We have 104 of those registered, and I think that's going to grow as well. We have Michael Lee, Chris Corbin, Cody Willenborg, Jeff Martin, Jeff Bachman, Kyle Park, Mark Welch, Joe Gould, Josh Smith, Travis Zollinger, Brian Hamby, Kyle Sturkay, Adam Brown, Mitch Guthrie. I think he's racing over in Dakar right now as well.
Yeah.
And he'll get home from Dakar. Well, him and Sarah get home from Dakar, regroup in a couple days, and come to Hammers. It's rad. So good for them. Kyle Taggart, Jason Tidwell, Phil Stratman, Jeff Donda, Rich Birch, Jacob Shade, Adam Fitza, Bryce Menzies is back. I didn't see him in the desert, but I'm glad to see him in the rocks.
He loves the rocks, though.
Yeah,
Hey, cool fact about Bryce Menzies. He flipped me back over when I tipped over in the UTV my first year on the UTV race.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ronnie Anderson, Johnny and CJ Greaves, John Schaefer, Dylan Heiser, Matt Zeiler, Anthony Baker, Justin Veek, Tyler Rimreed, Chris Ambergy, Dan Wyrick, Jay Shaw, Kyle Cheney. Is he going to have a three-peat? He's won the last couple years. Kyle Cheney.
Let's hope not.
Is he going to be in a new car or?
So I texted him, and he said, I can't remember. There's a few. I've texted everybody. I think he was one that had either, and he wasn't sure yet. But he definitely has one. I'm not sure if he's racing it. But that new Maverick R is badass. Mike Park, Corey Willis, Jake Godfrey, Matt Walraven, Dustin Seaman, Dustin Roberts, Robert Liebel, Jody Ford, Phil Blurton, Terry Madden, Paul Wolf. Paul Wolf's racing a lot this year as well, so you'll be seeing him on the course quite a bit. Troy Shipman, Peyton Isbell, Carson Atkins, Brian Tilton, Zach Pollard, Hunter Miller, Cody Miller, Dwayne Wells, Stephen Rogers, Ron Clark, Robert Johnson, Cole Clark, Todd Beckett, Aaron Henry, Alan Burton, Cameron Steele. You're going to be giving her the go. And this is all pro mod.
What model? What are you racing?
Right now we're racing the Maverick R. We're working on that.
Oh.
Yeah, we got it a little bit late.
Do you have an X3 for backup?
We do.
Okay.
My X3 is actually here. We're doing some testing on it right now. We were driving it today and are driving it tomorrow. Then we'll be prepping it for the race. So if everything comes together, the hardest part about the new Maverick R is that there's not readily available parts around for it. So Allsup Racing had to build custom cells for it. Harman's building them, and so there's a lot of intricacies that go into it.
The new is being a little difficult.
Yeah, it's definitely, and getting it on December 20th made it a little tough. So
yeah, but it's a cool platform.
Oh,
I'm
it's
excited to
amazing.
see it.
I've already driven them. It is a game changer. It's so much fun to drive. I loved it. Not that there's anything wrong with the X3. I had a great time today in that, but being able to paddle shift and have the new upgrades on the car is a lot of fun.
Tony Polari, Kyle Smith, Nick Anderson. That's pro mod, and I didn't say it, but open was the first about 20 or 30. Now we'll do the stock NA is Alan Hoover, Tam Mahoya, Curtis Morris, Anthony Yount. Now we'll go to stock turbo. Rob Reno, Jeremy Nabenshoe. I messed that one up. Sorry, buddy. Aaron Clark, Josh Hacker, No Brakes Bree, Justin Barth, Matt Wilson, Nathan Seiler, Seven Carter, Nathan Parker, Brett Harrell. Brett Harrell's using it as a pre-run for his 44 class, like that. Dustin Battleaxe Jones, Brian Deegan, like to see that name out here, that's cool. Brandon Caveman Anderson, Miller Richmond, Eric Wicks, Russell Yankovic, Josh Owen, Zach Seismic, Matthew Jeffrey, Trent Roberts, John Carnival, Ben Jones, Chris Johnson, Luis Gallardo, Martin Duffy, Ben Heitig, Hubert Rowland, everybody's favorite redneck, Donovan Willis.
You're my favorite redneck, boss.
I'll take that. Sorry, Hubert, but I beat you. William Eisenberg,
Hubert a lot
Tyler
too.
Gibbs, and Andrew Stratman. So that's UTVs. There's 104 of those, and I think that's going to grow as
And
well.
that's for the Can-Am UTV Rocks.
Yeah, correct. And there's four classes in there. There's 104 competitors. That's going to grow.
Want to hear a funny stat?
Let's hear it.
I didn't even know there were classes. I thought we were all just racing against each other. Last year we got 4th, but I thought it was just scored by the overall. And I had
So you were excited, and then you weren't overall 4th.
No, I was confused because someone's like, "Hey, we finished 4th." I was like, "No, we didn't. We finished like whatever 11th or whatever the number was." They're all, "No, there's classes," and I'm like, "it doesn't matter. I like the overall. That's what we're here for." So we're shooting for a top 4 in the overall.
And then we'll move right into the EMC. We
You
have
shaking your head at me again?
I'm not. No, that was a twitch.
so the
keeping
Everman
track.
Challenge. We have 144 total, and the 4600 Curry Enterprise Stock Class. We have Tom Biddle, John Williams, Sidney Stevenson, Megan Miller, Buzz Bachman, Anthony Comfort, Alex Fleming, Chris Minley, Amber Turner. She's racing 4400 this year too, and Randy's 48 car that just is getting finished right now. Randy's gonna race it, whatever that is, Friday. Prep it that night, and Amber's gonna race it on Saturday. I think that's rad.
Awesome.
Mike Lopez, Christopher Forrest, and she's gonna go from like 66 horsepower to like 466 horsepower. Kelsey Gosser, Jesse Bennett, John Lachey, Jim Nursel, Cindy Bullock, Alex McNeil, John Rance, Derek Auersler, James Garridge, Brexton Glines, Scott Farley, Brad Lovell, Brad Barnett, Albert Contreras, Twitchy McGee, John Quisenberry, Neil Hollingsworth, Kaylin Myers, Hannah Felton, Ruby Kinch, Jeremy Lucas, Luke Mansk, John Schaefer is back again. Brian and Sean McNamara, I saw them running around. There they are.
Oh, we here?
Yeah, they're here. The lights are bright, but
What's
they're
up,
here.
fellas? Is that Jen Zip there too? No, that's not Jen. Who's that sitting next to Justin? Oh, that's Alyssa. Thought that was Jen Zip.
And rounding up is Lauren Healy, last year's overall champion for
In 4600.
4600. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Curry stock class. That is 36 so far. And now we'll switch to the 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle Modified class. We have 31
144 in the EMC race.
total. Yep. We have
I didn't realize there was classes in that originally either. But I
No, but
figured that
classes
out
suck.
later.
We're never going to do classes, Cameron. Ever. We're never doing classes ever.
We finished 4th, and that was
Just did
overall. That's all I know.
The thing that everybody hates,
yeah.
hitting the table thing. That mic's probably still on.
Hammer.
Okay.
Might be off.
All right, let's switch to the 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle Modified class. Sean Rance, Anthony Taylor, Justin Hall, Peter Doolin, Michael Henn, Billy McAllister, Bob Humanchek, Eddie Oliver, Adam Ellington, Gary Henderson, Timothy McLeod, Tanner McGrath, Nestor Camacho, Jesse Oliver, Rick Levezzo, Dan Wyrick, Kyle McKeever, Joe Miker, John Matthews, Dwayne Garrettson, Kim Matson, Steve Crawford, Cody St. Clair, Mitchell Bokenfor, Logan Goodall, Jesse Balter, Shad Kennedy, Ben Ertl, Ryan Peretti, Matthew Weiss, and Diesel Krintz. And now the biggest EMC class, the 4800 Brannick Motorsports Legends class. Johnny Valadez, Derek Summers, Jay Schwab, Jeff Watson, Colin Hornick, Jeff Hatamaki, Brandon Goodwin, Mike Costello, Justin Costello, Christian Bass or Bass? I always forget that one. I think it's like fishing. Let's go with Bass. Russell Gamble, Robert Graham, Ryan Hawkins, Randall Holmes, Travis Riley, Chuck Crossland, Josh Sowell, Patrick Jones, Steve Adams, Randy Slauson, Josh Byler.
Byler?
Yeah, no, it's not Blyler. It's Byler. It's not Josher. It's a different Josh. Josh Blyler's racing 4400. Jeremy Jones, Daniel Guttenberg, Justin Barth, Craig Allen, Greg Neff, Ross Glave, Scott Foley, Chance Holloman, Rory Romero, Corey Allison, Brian Trimp, John Holtzman, Jacob Peak, Kimberly Sparrow, Jacob Pacheco, Cody Young, Michael Kelly, Matt Tribino, Jeff Martin, Ryan Taylor, Don Stein, Brent Harrell, Sean Reisky.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot.
I love this race, by the way. It's a great race.
Yeah, everyman challenge. Jeff Bradford, Kalen Boxey, Trent Roberts, Russell Raven, Steve Graff, Dustin Sexton, Justin Myron, Kent Foltz, Connor Foltz, Chad Jesse, Ryan Webb, Matt Bradley, Anthony Vinoy, John Terhune, Greg Johnson, Tony Howard, Sean
Leonardini.
No, you messed it up too.
Leonardini.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at the paper though. I'm just going by memory.
Yeah.
Leonardini, I believe.
Perfect. Let's roll it.
Number 7. 17.
That sounds right. I don't have that number. Brent Dixon, Jeremy Brown, Anthony Garofalo, Luke Campman, Andrew Gorman, Jesse Lee, Justin Reese, Curtis Harriman, Bodie Miller, Nicholas Legry, and Austin Thompson. So that is the Everyman Challenge with Keith Silva's the only EV for the Dana Spicer electrified class. So hopefully we get a couple more of those. We'll see, but that class is growing. You want to touch on EV for a minute? I mean, I think it's a cool thing.
Yeah, I mean,
we still got some growing pains to get through, though.
It's gotten a lot better technology-wise. There's some more stuff happening, and I think that they'll have more announcements at King of the Hammers with regards to how the class is going to continue on. But it's certainly continuing on, 100%.
Awesome, love it. And then the Race of Kings, the Nitto Race of Kings, the 4400, the big dogs.
Yay!
Aaron Smith, Chad Owens, Jaron Gunter, Kirk Jensen, Matt Neiman, Josh Blyler, Rusty Blyler, Clinton Peterson, Paul Horschel, Edwin Abb, Daniel Lusko, Jeffrey Allen, Mel Wade, Rich Goldman, Kevin Taylor, Pat Beckwith, Randy Slauson, Tim Rogers, Josh Sowell, Robert Karras, Brian Reed, Jamie McKean, John Webb, Christopher Branton, Tim Hooper, Greg Atler, Ian Cotness, Chris Hicks, Tommy Dykstra, Bailey Cole, Rick Levezzo, James Mahoney, Ben Miller, Jonathan Dawes, Brent Gagaber, Kyle Cheney, Blake Holland, Jordan Pellegrino, Jeff Bergman, Hunter Sparrow, Tad Dowker, Brian Caprara, Hunter Miller, Cody Miller, Brent Moffitt, Chad Hunt, Casey Gilbert, Eric Miller, another King, Chip McLaughlin, Cody Addington, Tom Prendergast, Ken Goodall, Brett Harrell, Mark Welch, Patrick Peterson, Joe Gatlin, Eric Miramon, Paul Wolf, Jared Pallant, Josh Boxey, Justin Wicks, Brian Crofts, Ken Hale, Mike Spindler, Ron Prindle, Bailey Campbell, Waylon Campbell, Shannon Campbell, Daryl Kresbach, Andrew McLaughlin, Jeremy Hammer, Cole Clark, Casey Curry, Levi Shirley, Chase Caprara, George Pronesti, Harold Fishman, Jason Shearer, Amber Turner, Cam Steele.
Hey.
See, you've done well in this race, and then you've broke a few times, but I think that car you keep tweaking on. That thing's bad.
She is bad.
Kevin Porterfield, A.K. Watley, Frank Vonderheide, Matt McCowan, Cole Johnson, Kevin Yoder, Jason Blanton, Dennis Sterndahl, Vaughn Gittin Jr., Lauren Healy, Gary Easley, Eric Foster, Oracle Lynn, Craig Allen, Brendan Thompson, and Ignacio Arana. And that's 96 in the 4400 class. So that's awesome. And now I'm going to flip it to you.
Yeah.
Let's hear about some Power Hour.
Power Hour.
Do you think,
I
just
don't
out
have
of
Power Hour
curiosity,
stuff.
just
You
curiosity.
just read them.
Okay.
You read them in the entries. We're going
Okay.
to split out Power Hour based on performance.
Okay.
And then we're going to break everybody into like groups of 12, and then you'll have your starting block like we've always done.
Yeah, and obviously it's still growing, so we can't have that down as a T now.
Say that
Yeah.
again. Power Hour is changing. I got
Power
that part.
Hour. It's not changing. It's always been it's been based on performance and then crowd vote and all different kinds of reasons.
Okay. Gotcha.
I just don't know. I mean, we got to the point of trying to do everything by time today to give their exact timelines, and there's some people that haven't registered and picked their class yet, so we have some kind of anomalies. And then just in general, it was going to create more questions. By the next day or so, we'll have your time block. You're in the 9 o'clock hour to qualify your UTV, and the 3 o'clock hour or the Power Hour so your qualifying course is different. You don't actually have to finish like the very, very end of it. You can go really, really fast until the end, and then we'll talk about you for the rest of the day, and everybody else can go to the finish of the qualifying course, but then you start right back at the front again for the main race.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's kind of like an on-course reporter thing.
Oh, yeah, well, I am an on-course reporter. Been there for you.
So a couple
Just tune in
questions on qualifying for EMC and UTV. You qualify, is it per class or overall? So UTV, a stock can start in front of an open.
It's the same however we've done it. I'm not However we've been doing it for the last 12 years is how we're going to do it.
Okay, perfect. That's what I thought. Just
I know that's changed over the last 12 years, but I'm not. That's a pitfall question. I'm going to say the wrong thing, and I'm going to have the wrong answer. It's whatever we did last year.
Yeah, all right, perfect. I like it. One thing we have is the speed waiver. Make sure you do that to just speed everything up at the welcome gate there at the 40. So go to kingofthehammers.com, red banner at the top with a link, hit that, and you can do your speed waiver right now or tomorrow, and it's just going to speed everything up at the welcome gate, because I mean we're expecting 80-ish thousand people, so the more smooth it can go, the better. So hit that up. Let's talk about the qualifying course. I think you dropped it a while back that it's what was it, 2012 ALCQ, but we're running it backwards. Does that sound right? So it's 3-ish miles. I'm guessing 7, 8, 9 minutes for the fast guys and gals. And Dave's gonna dive in.
This is for which classes?
Not desert, but everything else. All the rock racing.
Okay.
So UTV, EMC, and 4400.
So the basic level of mapping that we do is we're at printing level right now. This is the course. It's not the course to the exact track, but it's the course that we know we're going to be in that area within 50 feet. So I honestly don't know what I'm going to do to go up trapdoor yet, and I don't know how the short course is going to line out, because Gibby always makes awesomeness happen here. But we're going to go across the front. We're going to go across clockwise. There will be rocks here by trapdoor. We will go around and go off this drop off here. It's about a 70-degree. It's a pretty big drop off. I mean, it's pretty easy to mess up.
That's down the side of the sand dune looking thing that looks scary when you look up at it.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do this right. Like here, if I do this, and if I turn like this bad boy around here, you will see that it eventually isn't flat anymore.
I've been hanging around here a long time, and I never heard of the route called trapdoor. I like that, something different that I hadn't heard. I'm sure it's very familiar for everybody else.
What's that?
Trapdoor, never heard of it.
Oh yeah, no, this was the original qualifying course, but backwards. Let's see if I can get this backed out far enough. Where are we at?
Oh, it's flipped over, I think.
Yeah, I got all my bearings messed up.
Flip you over. You're north. Change your north back. There you go.
It's right there. Just trust me, it's steep and big.
And gnarly. I mean, it's the Hammers. What do you expect?
It is gnarly. It looks gnarly. When you look up at that, it is super nasty looking. For some reason, Google Earth wants to flatten it out.
Yeah, no, I guess Google Earth believes it's a flat Earth.
But at least it knows it's dark out.
Yep. Oh well.
We tried. So anyway, the qualifying course is going to come down the big scary sand hill.
Yes, and then turn right and go to the top of Resolution, down back door, all classes. And if you don't want to go down back door, you can take a tour over the sand and out.
There is a bypass arrangement.
There is a bypass.
But it's longer.
It's going to take you like 10 minutes to do it, 7, 8 minutes at least, because it's going to be ugly.
So huge.
Multiple
look at that. It goes all the way
crosses.
across to the other side.
You have to cross like 7 different sets of racetracks, so it's like those 4-foot
cross drain.
death whoop, murder 3000.
Don't go fast across those things.
Yeah, no, there's nothing good about it.
So to me, if you're not going to drop back door, do you qualify?
No.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to be responsible if people want to.
You're giving them the option.
It's pretty funny when the people are just like, I make them do this stuff. You don't have to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to qualify, correct? You can take a
You don't
restart.
have to qualify.
So there's the qualifying course.
For all the rock classes, it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah. We're going to be like 3 cars on the course at a time. There is potential for overlap, but if your run is impeded, I have to talk to USAC about how to handle that. We're not trying to create those situations, but we're not going to. We have to put 12 cars around in an hour. We're going to have to put 2 or 3 cars on the course at a time to make that happen.
Yep. I mean, that's just part of it. And we'll get the flow and figure it out and run with it. So there's qualifying. Like I said, that's roughly 3-ish miles, I'm going to guess.
Yep.
So now we have a lot more miles to cover, so let's dive right into the main course.
Okay.
So let's start with, Justin already went King of the Motos. Let's dive into the desert race. So lap 1, I assume they're doing the same lap 1 twice, and you just said that was 93 miles-ish?
I wouldn't assume anything with Dave Cole because
Well,
Dave.
I heard him say it.
Dave
93 miles.
Bring you the curveball.
93 miles. Pit 1 is out at Anderson again. It's run clockwise. There's about 25 miles of new stuff, mostly in this area here. There's a section here where you end up on like whoops that are overgrown, but you can if you close your eyes, you're like, oh yeah, Pernelli Jones and Walker Evans made these whoops. Because it's like that old Lucerne A like loop hidden in the hills. It's pretty cool. I try to use as many native washes as I can because Mother Nature's cleaning them out and making it glass again. It's kind of cool racing. So it's been fun trying to find different stuff out there. Military base is the same as always. Not as always, we have different options now, but we're utilizing it to the max capability for us. Thank you for that opportunity. And then
let's talk about that for just a minute. BLM, they've been great to work with. I mean, we're on their land, and
it's our land.
It's our land, but we work with them to make this possible. So I just want to give them a huge shout out to make this possible.
BLM, Marine Corps, State Parks, CHP, sheriffs, County Assembly, Fire Department.
Because it's our, like
Public
you said,
Safety Services.
It's our land, but without them, we couldn't put this event on.
Correct. No.
We don't close it. It's just we open it to our people for our event.
It's still open to everybody. You're starting to say words that get people in trouble.
Okay, sorry.
But yeah, no, it's an amazing opportunity, and I'm thankful to be a part of it.
Yep. So yeah.
Yep. I'm not getting deep out into Emerson here because I don't believe that's going to be navigable in a non-swamp boat. And yeah, that's the big stuff.
2 93-mile laps for the desert race, you said? I'm sorry, I missed that part.
That
93 yes, it's a 293, so 200
180,
miles, 187 miles, something like that.
Okay.
And then the limited class day is the abbreviated loop.
So there's a smaller loop for you said Class 11's got a smaller loop?
Smaller loop. We just cut it off, don't go onto the marine base. Same basic. And that'll be both the prologue and the limited class race course.
So this is the prologue for the desert race.
Correct.
So prologue's basically the qualifier for desert.
Yes.
And how long was that one?
And it's a prologue, so times carry over.
Correct. Times carry over, and they matter. Yes. So results matter in the prologue.
Do you have a guesstimate on that one?
Oh, I'm going to go from memory on that one. I'm really sorry. Stephen Lutz, if you're watching, go ahead and post up what that B loop was as far as length. 37-ish, 35-ish, something like that.
And that's the prologue and for Class 11? Class
11 is actually basically doing the qualifying loop for 4,400 around the mountains without rocks.
So Class 11's a 3-4 mile loop, and how many laps we don't know yet, but
yeah, they're about a 40-mile race, and they'll start on a land rush, start off the lake bed, and they'll go out to that point. So there'll be a lake bed section for them on every lap. Should be a pretty cool section. They won't have to go up over top of the Baldwin jump here. It's flatter on this side.
So roughly 10 laps on that 4-mile loop.
Correct.
Roughly.
Cool. Leaving it to the racer to let me know what they want to do.
Yeah. So that kind of covers desert and lap 1 for EMC, UTV, and 4400. So let's jump into lap number 2 for UTV, EMC, and Race of Kings.
So on the, I know in previous years they've gone different directions. What's the status on that this year?
So only last year we went different.
Okay.
This year we are going to go the same, clockwise for everybody.
Okay.
Easier to manage.
I don't think it is.
Oh, okay.
It's for this year, the way the course is set up, I think it makes for better racing, and that's the reason I went with it. I loved having it go backwards, and I think it was pretty overwhelmingly that it was better for the racers as well. So I'd like to get back to it as often as we can.
It was fun.
But, yeah, it made for a better racing. I think.
The thing I like about King of the Hammers is that it's not always the same thing, and I like that you come up with different ideas. You're not afraid to repeat, but you generally
switch
don't
it up a little
you
bit.
Switch it up quite a bit.
On that note, I got something new for you.
All right.
Remember, we're on lap 2 now. Starting lap 2.
That's fine because for EMC, they run most of the lap 3 obstacles for the UTV and EMC race. So turkey claw off the bat.
This is lap 2.
Lap 2, across the MDR course like always, over Compaction Hill, through a new canyon that feeds into Aftershock, around the bottom, up Highway 18, 19, 20.
Yep.
What's the blue? That's a bypass for stock?
The blue is lap 3. It's called Check Me Out. So I'm showing you the race of Kings race, and I'm explaining the differences.
Okay. So you're telling us lap 2 and 3 kind of.
I'm just showing you the rocks right now. Yep. So the lap 3 is a lap 3 only for 4,400. Everybody else goes around lap 2 there. Then you go into the pits. You go up. Lap 3 is Andes.
So you said pits. That's remote pit 2, and that's
pit 2.
That's the same as it's been for a while.
Yeah,
right?
We're going to make the entrance less chaotic and we'll try to manage it a little better. And we're going to hope the teams help us get there too.
Yep.
And then we'll obviously go into much more detail at the drivers' meetings. I'm purposely not giving you enough detail to go drive this right now. Trying not to, at least, but enough that you can understand and maybe get excited about some things, because there's some weirdness happening over here. After we go up Zandes or around the unnamed trail, end up, instead of going up Fissure like we used to, everybody's been driving by this canyon for a while. So this canyon right here, I don't even know what we called this. We called it Uptown because downtown is right here. This is downtown. Right down this canyon in here is a Kevin Carroll trail. So this is the extension of that. Doesn't ever really get wheeled, we just drive by it. That's Uptown. And then I called this one Fishing Hole because it's kind of like, it's the top of Bender Alley, but it's not Upper Bender Alley, because Upper Bender Alley already is Upper Bender Alley. And the Benders got separated from the Gear Grinders and Ridgecrest near Fish Canyon, so that's the Fishing Hole. I'm really digging deep and coming up with names.
Gotcha.
But I have no better name for it. I actually have another trail called Winner's Choice because after the race they get to pick the name. I'm tired of making up the new names. I'm very bad at that creative standpoint.
I think a lot of people are bad at this.
So across Fissure, up the canyon to Jack, down Jack, not down Sledge. We don't touch Sledge. New area. I will say this verbally, that this area, this obstacle used to be called Dirty Sanchez, but we're not going to call that on the map at all because.
Just because.
Yeah. Yeah, it's called Tumbleweed now. Yeah, well, you get out there and drive it, Mustard Dog.
Is that where we saw those tumbleweeds when we were sitting at the
you
car
can
making
see,
sure?
Looks like there was some in the pictures too, but they're down more here. The tumbleweeds are more in this area now because this is where that.
Is that really very steep drop we saw the other day?
Yes, yeah, okay. That's it. This is a cool, almost like a Cougar Buttes area.
Wait, the steep drop that we saw.
Yes, that shadow right there is from that.
Bar Dave's.
That's from that.
The
shadow created from the drop off. I expected that to break loose a little bit, but it turns out that that's like concrete. And
yeah, you thought the rear tires were going to drag off.
As soon as the front links hit the edge of like the rock, the car just accelerated, and it was like,
uh-oh,
this is happening. I mean, by the time the tires hit the ground, I was doing 20 miles.
Don't say we. I got out.
Yes, you got out.
Well, someone had to film.
Oh yeah.
Good. By the way, I messaged you, but
yeah, you did.
Way to hold your shot.
Yeah, and then as soon as he stopped, I quit and yelled, "Are you okay?" And he didn't say anything, so I fell down the hill. But
I was okay.
You're okay.
So this will be a stop check here. Cars get close together, but it's a very low speed. This lets us get in front of fans more, go up the sand hill, do the things, tack hammer, around through Lazy Nut Alley and Her Problem, Idle Issues, and Chocolate Thunder. Out the top. And lap 2 up, and EMC is they're lap 3, and I've actually got a different course that I'm proposing here. I'm proposing that for those guys, they actually go up. This is EMC and UTV. You go up Bender Alley or up Jack North, down Bender Alley, down Wrecking Ball, and then I made a new trail over here that we're going to call Winner's Choice. I actually don't know that UTVs can make it out of it. It's got a pretty big climb at the end. It's got a pretty high, and then it just drops off right into the middle of Wrecking Ball.
So this is a maybe for UTVs.
Maybe for UTVs.
What about 46 stock?
46, that white line's the stock bypass already.
Okay.
for 4,400. They're lap 2 up and down and up wrecking ball, and lap 3 is up winner's choice.
And drops into wrecking ball.
It drops into wrecking ball, then you go out wrecking ball, then you go across down full of hate into claw hammer, and this is where start things actually get a little weirder. Is that you go up claw and up nightmare. The stock bypass is down King's Veto. Everyone else goes down blue dot, and when you get to the bottom, you get to the top of Thor's Canyon right about here, and you go down Thor's Canyon. This is where the steep stuff last year. When you're down in here, there's going to be a VCP at the top of NSA. I'll put it here right now so everybody can see my concept. So, not a polygon. So I'm going to put a VCP at the top of NSA. And I'm going to put a VCP at a new trail called Off Ramp, which we've driven by for like 30 years and didn't even know was there. So when you get to the bottom of Full of Hate, you have to get through those 2 VCPs, and I don't care how you do it.
I was making a note on that. So you said that a while back, is you go from one VCP to the other VCP, and you can figure it out.
You
so
can
you
go
can go around.
You can go anywhere from here all the way down to Big Johnson. It's about 1.5 miles away.
Or you can go up and over the mountain.
You can go over Medusa. So this trail's been run. This was cut by Sarah Hanna. This is Medusa. This is Bigfoot. I don't believe, maybe a couple of badass dudes have driven up it in cars. I made it halfway up and was by myself, but I think it's gonna be a great rock crawling trail. But the bikes have been doing it for a little bit. If cars have been doing it too, it's rad. It's right there at the end of Big Johnson.
So the closer it is, the harder it is, and then the
Much
next
harder.
trail's a little easier, and then you can go around everything. But you're adding time.
But the problem is that if you take this Big Johnson's not hard at all. Big Johnson is one of the easiest trails here,
okay.
Right? But that sandhill is 300 feet up, and it's 45 degrees.
Okay, so it's longer,
with
but
no
now
run
you need
in.
horsepower.
There's no run in, and
so
then
maybe it's easier to rock crawl slow
there's
than
no
try
rocks. No, there's no rocks there.
No, I'm saying if you take one of the earlier trails.
Yes.
We ran that on the bikes last year, the right line right there.
The Bigfoot.
Yeah, that's where I ended up with the motorcycle on top of me. Just after that, I got lapped, and then I tapped out at checkpoint 1.
So after you get up,
That was on the 3rd lap, by the way, not the 1st or 2nd lap. Just saying.
And there's only 2 laps.
No, there was 2 laps the first day, 2 laps the second day.
after you come across Big Johnson, you stay up on top here, and this false ridge, this is actually the ridge here, and this little canyon parallels the mine road, but about 700 feet above it. And
so
about
you're way up on top. 500
feet below the summit. You're just you didn't even know it's there. And you follow it all the way down. You can't see the cars. Then they drop down this trail. Just made it up, called the off ramp. And then we scoot behind the old mine, past the bottom of King's Veto, over to pit 2 again, down outer limits, up Spooners, down back door, down Resolution, down back door, back to the lake bed.
So what's your guesstimate on lap 2 versus lap 3?
It's like 73 miles lap 2. It's the longest lap 2 we've ever had. And I purposely limit the opportunities to get to pit 2. And
okay.
I give them lap 3, traditional lap 3 different difficulty before the pit 2, and then after it.
What's your mileage on lap 3?
It's nominally the same.
Okay, so 73-ish.
73-ish. The canyons they go
with
past.
the opportunity to overland.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
Yeah. Okay, because it can be different by a mile or two here and there.
It could be. It could be
Looks
up
like
like
you can
2.5
be almost
miles.
3 miles there,
Alright.
different
Yep.
based on what I'm
like
looking
that.
at.
Yep.
And then the blue isn't that much different in mileage-wise. It's just harder trails.
Yep.
So that's lap 1 of the desert, lap 2 and 3 of the rocks.
What's interesting about
Yeah.
it is you got to think. You got to be able to understand where you're going and when you're going there. So it takes some brain cells.
So Cameron, you're racing this race multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any questions as a racer on any of these laps? I mean, lap 1's lots of desert, a little bit of rocks. Lap 2's mainly rocks. Lap 3's mainly rocks with some harder trails. Is there any spot in there you're curious about, you scared about, you excited about?
Well, I'm always scared of a little bit of the exposure stuff where you're not sure. I like where he says it's like a vertical drop into wrecking ball. that always gets my attention.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, nothing specifically jumps out that I would love to ask a question about, other than where Dave dropped off the ledge. Is there a side trail?
Yeah,
there's either side.
I drove down it the next day, the same, like right next to it.
Hey, how are you guys?
So we got the McNamara brothers in the house.
Yeah.
Is that Mike hot for those guys, gentlemen?
Yeah. If you want to bring up all the racers this race.
Yeah, I don't know if we have that many racers here. It looks like
Brian Reed's here.
Dolly can represent.
Travis
Amber.
Cook is washed up. He doesn't race.
Come up here, Brian.
Yeah, come on up.
So is that did we hear you
Brent,
right?
is he still here?
EMC down King's Veto as a bypass.
46.
Just stock. Stock
stock.
bypasses down King's Veto.
Nice. That'll be
So,
interesting.
you're racing the Curry stock class and co-driving 44 with
Yep,
Brent,
I'll be
correct?
Where's my UTV teammate?
Yep, we're also racing the T4 race.
Yeah, we'll be
Who's
racing
that?
T4 as well.
Dean Leals here.
And what'd you think of his idea of qualifying
Where's
in
Dean?
the desert versus
Where's Brian
rock?
Wood?
So I actually had
They're
a call
here?
with Dave Cole about this slightly.
The desert.
desert
Yeah,
stuff,
it's actually
yeah.
their fault.
Okay.
So now everyone that spent the last
Yeah, you can be
45
mad at
minutes
us.
MFing me about what a stupid idea this is.
They can
If it's a good idea, it's their fault. If it was a bad idea, I'll take the blame.
That's all right.
It's their idea. I dig it. I think it creates
Yeah,
a
let-
reason.
so-
It creates a reason to do things.
Bree up here.
Call Bree.
Hey, Bree. Oh, there she is.
Dean
She's coming.
Leal.
She was trying to
UTV
hide,
racer
but she didn't.
with us?
Hey,
Yeah,
man,
come
it's
on
good to
up.
see you.
Hey, Tim Pellegrino, sit down. Anybody else?
Pellegrino's out there?
Tim Pellegrino.
Ah.
He just talks. He doesn't drive.
When
Ouch.
Hey, so when they're making a movie, and when they make the movie, Tim is going to be represented by a pirate-themed dreadlocked parrot
There's Dolly stepping in for Amber. I like it.
flies around and just basically narrates people's lives.
Bree, you got to come around by your dad.
Who's going to play you?
Who's going to play you?
Cameron Steele's going to play him. He's never.
Oh,
This
I guess.
is the curious case of Cameron Steele. He's getting younger by the second.
So I asked Cameron, what you excited about, what you scared about. Thank you for that. Anybody else? Do you have any? Are you excited about the course? Nervous? What's your thoughts on the course? I mean, it's the hammers. It's hard. It's badass.
It's definitely hard.
What was today? Where were we at today?
We're at Spooners and outer limits. Are the UTVs going up outer limits? Is a good question.
The UTVs are going down
Down
outer
outer
limits.
limits.
Yes,
Down, outer, up, spinners.
up Spooners. Yep.
So gravity will help you there.
Yeah, we could use a little gravity.
How's King's Veto looking? I've only seen a 44 car and I don't know what it looks like 35s on a 5,000.
We'll
Well,
fall
at
down.
least you're dropping
We're going
it, right?
down,
You're
so
dropping
it's
it.
gravity on our side.
You're gonna
Maybe
make
have a winch.
you're gonna make it to the bottom one way or another.
I have a lot of data about that bottom middle section
quit getting stuck,
where I
maybe some
got
44
stuck there
cars
and
get through
became a trail plug. Yeah, it was pretty good there.
Yeah, Brent specifically said
Thank
don't
you.
break in the trail anymore. We're tired of driving over you.
Spectator areas. Let's talk about that. We've added a couple of spots. There's jumbotrons across.
Try to put a jumbotron at every spectator area.
So chocolate.
We're working feverishly to have as much available to you on your phone as well with low internet. So possibly some Wi-Fi based stuff, but we're probably not going to make it for game time.
But yeah, multiple
The
jumbotrons
cov-
throughout the
Coverage
desert.
is going to be through the roof.
Yeah, I mean it always is. That's.
This year's different.
Oh,
There's gonna be-
you said it.
There's
I
going
like-
to be the teams have invested so much in the Starlink type stuff and the things that are available to them for internet.
And
that
it's growing every day. Even. I mean,
Yeah,
the
so we're-
technology is rad.
I'm looking forward to the live show being pretty rad.
And speaking about live show, you're hopping in the booth again.
Yeah, you were the most popular
Everybody
commentator.
Yeah, you're way better than Cameron.
For
way better
sure.
than myself. Jim Marsden. I mean,
Who isn't better than Jim Marsden? I mean, really. Since he's not here, let's abuse him a little bit.
Ian Johnson's coming back. Tiffany Stone. Matt
Fish
Holder.
is coming
yeah,
back?
Fish is going to
Heard
be
Fish is
a
coming
tracker
back?
expert.
Pam's running our stage, right?
Yep,
Isn't Pam doing?
Pam will do awards and
Yep.
start line, and she'll fill in where she can. I mean, we got a good team.
She'll be hosting the awards ceremony things at the end there.
Yeah, I mean, there's some hardware to be given away for that's for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. What
What
else?
are you
Do
most
guys have
excited
anything?
about, Dave?
What am I most excited about?
Yeah.
February 10th. Actually, it's important. Everybody's got to go home this year because the Marines are training on February 10th.
That's why we had to move it up a little bit.
They train on the 17th, and I need to be off the lake bed. We need to be off the lake bed by the 10th, which is like 6 days after the end of the event.
And
So-
if everybody doesn't figure that out, that means they got to take everything down in that amount of time.
All of it, every zip tie, every single tent, everything cleaned out, gone.
But we
6
got a
days.
good team, and please, spectators, racers, pack it in, pack it out. We'll do our best.
We're also going to make trash available differently this year.
Okay.
To the best of our ability. I'm trying to make basically a drive-through
We're
trash
still working
service.
on that, but
It's our intent is to make basically a drive-through trash service out at the outpost area where you can just go and take your trash anytime you want to.
yeah, and that's helpful. But again, when you're out on the trail, I mean, take one of those sackets and pick
it up,
after,
please.
pick up your beer
Please.
can and the other guys or the water
Clean up
bottle.
now before the race is
Oh, yeah,
almost as intense as after the race.
Tony started yesterday,
Yeah.
and he's
I
already
saw KOH team members today cleaning up trash already down by the cross.
Yeah, I mean, so do your part. That's all we can ask for sure. So
we'll do questions to them, and you want to see if can you see comments or questions there? Is there any?
I don't see much, but
Okay.
I don't have much.
Do
in
you guys
front of me.
do you guys have any questions or thoughts?
Not myself. I'm good.
Well,
Running Medusa?
if you don't want to run Bigfoot or Big Johnson,
So
yeah.
that's in that figure it out. So yes, you can.
That's left of Thor's, right?
It's if you're at the
Down
if you're at the
Thor's.
bottom of Thor's and you're looking up at Thor's, you turn to the left and there's a steeper canyon. That's
I've seen
Medusa.
it, thought about it, decided not to.
It's fun in there.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I mean it's so. Thanks
Sounds
again
like-
for everybody tuning in. Cameron Steele, Dave Cole. We got a slew of everybody else.
Less than 2 hours, James Masters.
Yeah,
I
so-
win the bet.
So
Shout
again,
out to James Masters.
Yeah, James Masters, Chris Lundy, Take It Live, One Arm Bandit, Carlos and Caleb and everybody else that makes the show. Eric Anderson, get up here. This would be bad form. We have like legends in the audience.
100%. And speaking about that, you see
Hey.
that green Bronco in the background. That's J.R. Reynolds. That's
Actually-
the OG winner of King of the Hill.
That's true, and
Cameron, how you doing?
And now that's ours,
you.
right?
that is ours. Yeah, that's ours. Kyle's.
I love you too, buddy.
Thank you, everybody. It's going to be a great year. I'm really looking forward to it.
Don't forget, you can go rewatch this. We'll have it on our King of the Hammers /official. It'll be up there tonight or in the morning. You can rewatch this 100 times, and that's how your best way to watch the live show. It'll obviously be on Facebook as well, but that's your go-to place to watch the live show. It's going to be all weekend long. I mean, dusk till dark. It's we're adding some new stuff. We've got helicopters. We've got multiple. The drone game is upping itself every time. I mean, you can't replace a helicopter because it's cool, but the drones are awesome. Lots of cameras all over the place, and there's some new spots that we've never seen on the live show.
Well, we've changed it. We've been.
So Starlink's a huge thing for that.
I don't have an official like relation. We're just a retail purchaser of Starlink, right?
For sure.
But that
But
technology.
it's changing the game.
That technology is
It's
changing the
wild.
game. So
I don't think I have anything else. You got anything else, Dave?
just
Cameron?
thank you and be safe. Go home. Do the
Make-
trash
everybody
cleanup stuff. And
Make good decisions. If you think it's a bad idea, it probably is. I'll stick with that. And I want to say thank you, Cody Wagner and LaserNet team, for your support of
always
making my
Kevin,
dreams come true.
Kevin Reardon at the 40, Cody Wagner. We have the Brenthal's are over there doing their thing. Pistachio John. This is a cool neighborhood.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great neighborhood. I love
great
this
neighborhood.
place.
Yep.
I love this town.
If I would have only bought property a decade ago.
You still can.
I know.
You want to be Dave's
Your motor
neighbor?
was expensive.
Not really. Yeah, I want to be Dave's neighbor.
Yeah. So again, this is the 18th annual King of the Hammers. It's absolutely amazing. Thanks again to everybody for the Progressive King of the Hammers presented by Nitto Tires.
Presented by
powered
Nitto's back, yep.
Yep. Powered by Optima Batteries. We
Optima.
got a great relationship with everybody. So thanks again to everybody. I'm Miles Haskell, Cameron Steele, Mr. Dave Cole. You give us the out.
Out.
Cheers.